Western women's movement is a social and political movement in Europe and North America where women fought for equal rights with men. It began in the 18th and focused on rights like voting, education, fair work, and freedom from discrimination. It is the movement that helped improve women's rights and promote gender equality.
Liberation began when women realized they were treated unfairly and started questioning society's rules. They spoke up against discrimination and equal rights in education, work, and politics. Feminism is the belief that women and men deserve equal rights, opportunities, and respect. It is based on ideas of democracy and human rights, saying that no one should be treated unfairly because of gender. The Western women's movement is divided into three waves because each period focuses on different issues. The first wave fought for legal rights, the second wave challenged social inequality, the third wave recognized diversity and intersectionality. The first wave focused on basic civil rights like voting, education, and property ownership. During the 18th to early 20th century, women demanded equality in law and society. Their struggle helped open opportunities in education, work, and political participation. This group of revolutionary women demanded voting rights and leadership positions. Their action shows that women were ready to participate fully in government and public life. Lempe de Gouges wrote the Declaration of the Right of Women to challenge their unfair laws. She believed women were equal human beings and deserved the same rights as men, inspiring future feminist movement.
An anti-slavery movement. Women first joined the campaign to end slavery, but they were treated as inferior and excluded from decision-making. At the World Anti-Slavery Convention, women were forced to sit behind curtains, showing they were not seen as equals. Because of this, discrimination activists like Lucretia Mott and Elizabeth Cady Stanton began organizing the early women's rights movement, fighting for gender equality and an end to oppression. First wave feminism focused on women's right to vote. Women were expected to stay at home and were excluded from politics, education, and jobs, so they organized a movement to demand suffrage and equal participation in society. Despite opposition claiming women were unfit to vote, activists, including black reformers, supported voting rights. The movement formally began at the Seneca Falls Convention 1848, where the Declaration of Sentiments was written, led by figures like Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Sojourner Truth. The second wave of feminism, 1960s to 1970s, pushed for women's equality beyond voting, focusing on the identity, womanhood, and the social roles assigned by society. Influenced by Marxist and postmodern ideas, feminism challenged the patriarchal system where men dominated social, political, and economic life. Gay works like the Feminine Mystique and the Second Sex inspired women. World War II showed women could perform men's work, but afterward they were forced back to domestic roles. Socialist feminism says women are oppressed in all areas of life, just in the economy, because society in the Philippines confined them to domestic roles. The sexual division of labor assigns women reproductive work while men dominate productive work, keeping women dependent. Frederick Engels argued that women could be liberated by joining the workforce with societal support for childcare and reproductive needs. The second wave of feminism combined Marxist and radical ideas addressing women's sexuality, motherhood, and alienation, while calling for systematic change in social, political, and economic structure to achieve true equality. Radical feminism inspired the civil rights movement believes women are oppressed because society defines them by their sex. Equality means women are different but equally valuable. The movement challenged patriarchy, fights sexual oppression, and calls for structural social change. Second wave feminism that patriarchy oppressed women by keeping them at home while men control society. They fought for reproductive rights, challenged gender roles, and built solidarity through consciousness raising. They also protested inequality and objectification, like in the 1968 Miss America protest.
The call for affirmative action. This slide discusses affirmative action. It is a policy designed to give women equal opportunities, especially in fields where they were previously excluded. It was created to correct discrimination and promote fairness in the workplace. Second wave feminism. This slide explains second wave feminism. It expanded globally and focused on women's rights, but it was criticized for concentrating mainly on Western women's experiences. Third wave feminism. The third wave of feminism began in the 1990s and recognized that women around the world face different forms of oppression. It rejected the idea that all women share the same experiences. In post-feminism, as Leslie Haywood and Jennifer Drake explained, it criticized earlier feminist movement and it emphasized women's personal choices and empowerment rather than collective struggle. This slide is about postmodern feminism. Butler argued in Gender Trouble that gender is socially constructed, not biologically fixed. In identity politics, focuses on how individuals express and understand their gender in ways that truly represent themselves. Gender as performance. Gender is performative, created through repeated actions and behaviors shaped by social expectations. Summing up, the Western feminist movement show how women have made progress in achieving equality and challenging discrimination over time. In the last different feminist movement, various movements emerged to address specific struggles, but all aim to uplift women and remove structural barriers.